Today I'm going to demonstrate how to do a 3 variation leg press. Now this is a great high volume exercise that activates the glutes, hamstrings, and also quads. Now first thing you need is a leg press machine, and as you see there's a leg press machine right behind me. Now this leg press machine is a free-loaded machine, and there's different variations of the leg press machine that you can use. I highly recommend either using this particular one, the free-loaded one, or you can use for this particular exercise the one that's in the incline where you sit down onto the ground and you push up. All right, those are the only 2 machines that I highly recommend when doing this exercise. Now let's go ahead and do the demonstration. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead, set yourself into the machine. Now this particular machine that you see right now is one of my favorites, because when it comes to the one that's on the angle, I particularly don't like it that much because I was a victim of not going so low, you know. And as you can see, there's a lot of individuals that will go on to the one that's angled and they'll put a lot of weight onto the machine and then try to do a leg press. Now the problem is that half of the time we don't go so low, especially if we're putting a lot of weight. And this is something that you probably do. I know I've done it before in the past, and what I realized that, will you get muscle growth? Of course, you're going to get some muscle growth, but it's not about just getting the muscle growth. It's about how effective is the exercise if you're doing it more correctly. So what I ended up doing was lightening up the weight, and then was able to bring my legs a lot further back, activating more of the hamstring and getting more glute engagement. So this particular machine here, I really like this one because you can't cheat. You know what I'm saying? On the one that's angled, it kind of sets you up for cheating, because when you're kind of angled in that position, for some individuals it might be a little hard to go really further back. With this one, it definitely gives you the flow of motion or mobility to be able to go more further back. So this is why I really like this particular machine. Now, let's go into the 3 variation exercise, all right? So the 3 variation is this. Now, what I usually do, and there's different ways you can start this exercise, you could do 15 reps, 20 reps, or 30 reps, all right? Right now, for me particularly, if you're following me on Instagram, I'm doing 20 reps because I lowered my weight and started doing my squats on the leg press machine more deeper, okay? Because I want to get more activation, and what I realized, I had a lot more hypertrophy by going further and deeper within my squats versus doing partial squats, not going so deep, okay? And using very extreme heavy weight. So I used to do 30 reps and now I dropped it to 20 reps, okay? Now when it comes to the 3 variation, you're going to do 20 reps like this in the neutral position, with your feet in the neutral position, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the first part of the 3 variation, okay? So let's say I'm doing the 20 reps in a neutral position. I'm going to have my feet hip distance apart, and as you can see, I'm pushing the weight with my heels, so that's why my feet is not leaving the plate. And at the same time, as you can see, when I'm doing the full extension, I'm not locking out my knees, okay? You want to have soft knees when you're performing this exercise, okay? So now, let's say I did my 20 reps. I'm going to go ahead and stop. Now, when it comes to the rest, you want to go immediately into it, but if you can't and your legs are very exhausted, especially if this is your first time doing this type of exercise, go ahead and take 30 seconds, okay? Nothing more than that, all right? Because you want to really get the tension, the time under tension of the legs, so you get more hypertrophy growth when doing this high volume exercise. So now, the second part of the 3 variation is I want to keep my feet at hip distance apart, and I'm going ahead and externally rotate my feet out into a 45-degree angle, okay? So now what this does is going to really activate more of the inner part of the quads, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and push off again with the heels. All right, same thing. Don't fully lock out the knees. Have soft knees into the extension and go ahead and go all the way back, all right? Activating those hamstrings, the glutes, and quads. Now, like I said, I'm doing 20 reps for each variation. So once, let's say I already did my 20, all right, now I stop. Go right immediately in, or like I said before, if you're a novice or a beginner, go ahead and take that 30-second break. Now, the last part of the 3 variation, okay? I want to have my feet about hip distance apart, or you can spread it out a little bit further if it's getting in the way in the groin area, if you know what I mean, okay? So you're going to internally rotate the feet inwards, okay? Now, when you do this, go ahead and push off with the heels again. This particular exercise, you want to be careful, just because when you're internally rotating the feet in, this is not a natural position, okay? And there's a lot of controversy when it comes to this exercise. A lot of people will usually get some knee pains. I really need exercise, but this is why I do it, because it really activates more of the outside part of the quad, okay? So this is why I do it. If you don't have knee pain, go ahead and try it out and see how it works. But this is why I've even lightened up the weight, so because I don't want to create any knee pain in the future. So that's your precautionary measures when it comes to this exercise. Just be careful, be very cautious of the movement, and don't try to load up a bunch of weight, creating a lot of pressure on the knee, because like I said, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to internally bringing your feet in an internal rotation and then doing this exercise, okay? So be very careful when performing it. But it's same thing again, same rules apply. Go ahead and push with the heels, just like that, all right? And then what you're gonna do, come right back in, just like that. That's how you do a 3 variation leg press.